If you love Jesus, if you have ever whispered his name through tears, stay with this story. This is for believers who know that faith does not always prevent storms, but it keeps us standing when everything collapses. Hannah Brooks was 29 when her world began to fall apart quietly, without drama, without warning. She was 5 months pregnant, exhausted, hopeful, and still believing life would somehow settle into place. Her husband left on an ordinary afternoon. No shouting, no apology, just a suitcase by the door and a sentence that sounded rehearsed. He said he was not ready for responsibility. Then he walked out. Hannah stood frozen, one hand resting on her growing stomach, the other gripping the edge of the table. The silence he left behind felt heavier than anger. It felt final. Within weeks, her job disappeared too. The small marketing firm she worked for downsized. Maternity leave became an inconvenience they did not want to manage. Her position was quietly eliminated. Bills piled up, phone calls went unanswered, savings vanished faster than she imagined. Fear became her constant companion, sitting beside her through sleepless nights. She expected her church to be her refuge. Instead, she felt slowly invisible. Conversations became awkward. Invitations faded. No one said she was unwelcome, but no one stayed close either. Hannah moved into a one-room apartment on the edge of town. The walls were thin. The floor creaked. The loneliness echoed louder than noise ever could. Shame settled deep inside her chest. She blamed herself for the marriage, for the failure, for the judgment she imagined in every passing glance. She wondered if God was disappointed in her too. But her prayers turned bitter. She still spoke to God, but not gently. She asked why he allowed abandonment, why obedience seemed to lead to loss, why faith had not protected her. Labor came early and painfully. She gave birth alone, holding a nurse's hand instead of her husband's. When her daughter cried for the first time, Hannah wept with both love and terror. Postpartum depression arrived silently. But days blurred together. She fed her baby, changed diapers, stared at walls. Joy felt distant. Faith felt fragile. At night, when the baby finally slept, Hannah lay awake, thoughts racing. Anxiety pressed against her chest, whispering that she was not enough, that she had failed everyone, including God. One night, unable to quiet her mind, she reached for an old Bible packed in a box. She had not opened it in months. Dust clung to the cover like hesitation. She did not read with hope. She read with exhaustion. She opened to the Gospels because they felt familiar, safe. The words of Jesus met her gently, without accusation. She read about a Savior who sat with the broken, who noticed women's society ignored, who stayed when others walked away. Slowly, something softened inside her. She began reading every night, not searching for miracles, but for companionship. The words did not erase her pain, but they kept her company within it. Prayer returned, quietly. Not long prayers, not eloquent ones. Just whispers between feedings. Jesus, help me endure. Jesus, stay. Faith did not fix her circumstances overnight. Bills remained. Loneliness lingered, but strength began to grow where despair once lived. Hannah started attending a small weekday prayer group at a different church. No one asked questions. No one judged. They listened. They prayed. They stayed. She found part-time remote work during her baby's naps. The income was modest, but dignity returned. She felt useful again. As months passed, Hannah grew steadier. Depression loosened its grip. She learned to smile without guilt. She laughed with her daughter, discovering joy in small moments. She taught her child bedtime prayers, holding her close, whispering about Jesus as protector, provider, and friend. Faith became something lived, not just believed. Her church community slowly rebuilt, not large, but sincere. People who showed up without being asked. People who reflected Jesus through presence. Hannah stopped asking why abandonment happened. Instead, she thanked God for staying. She realized Jesus never promised ease, but he promised presence. She no longer measured faith by answered prayers, but by sustained strength, by the ability to stand when the world collapses. Years later, Hannah looked back without bitterness. Loss had not destroyed her. Faith had reshaped her. Jesus had remained faithful when everyone else walked away. And now, dear listener, if you are walking through abandonment, exhaustion, or silent suffering, remember Hannah's story. Jesus does not leave. He stays in the night watches. Hold your faith. He is holding you